Welcome to yoga. This is going to be a slow flow class, 60 minutes long, and we will go ahead and get started on a seat. So if you want to make your way into a comfortable seat, I have my lovely assistant here. And if you want to start with a tall spine, and you can have your hands resting onto your upper thighs, softly close your eyes. Take a moment to sink in and settle. And then you can give a little bit of pressure downwards, hands to thighs, and slide your base of your palm all the way along your thighs until they reach your knees. Gently flip your palms as they reach your knees. So you've got little flowers of palms. Fingers are gently curling in towards the center. And again, we'll take a few breaths here. See if you can elongate the crown of your head a little bit more towards the sky. And start to tune in and notice the curvature of your spine. This rooting point of your sitting bones, rising all the way up to the crown of your head, the support of the central channel of your body. Taking a few moments to make a ceremony of your practice as you start. And then you can go ahead and take your left palm, place it over the space of your heart. Take your right palm, place it on top. And then make a couple of circles in one direction to sort of mobilize the skin of your chest. And I like to give a little bit of pressure inwards so that I'm really moving the skin of my chest and my fascia underneath it. When you're ready, you can take a couple of circles in the opposite direction. And then you can settle your hands towards your heart center. Take a few breaths into this connection between your palms and your heart. And then bring your hands back onto your knees, palms facing down, and we'll just make a couple of circles with the upper body. Spinning the upper body around the legs. And taking everything in the opposite direction. And then you can start to make your way onto hands and knees, 4-point kneeling position on your mat. Take a few moments to get comfortable and steady, make some free movement. Maybe moving your head and neck, moving into your shoulders, bringing some weight into your hands and wrists. And then we'll start to make some circles with the hips over the knees. Same thing as we did with the upper body, but now we're just working into the hips, circling one direction. Maybe starting to bring more weight into your hands as your hips come forward and sinking back towards your heels as your hips come back. And when you're ready, you can head in the opposite direction. And then make your way back to neutral. Shoulders are above your wrists. Hips are above your knees. Take your right hand, bring it behind the space of your neck, elbows pointing out to the side. Draw your navel in towards your spine to feel this engagement of your abdominal muscles. And then slowly start to turn your chest open to the right, so your elbows reaching up to the sky. On an exhale, you're going to bring your elbow to your inner left arm and touch. Curling navel in towards your spine, a little bit of round, and then start to open back up. Elbow reaches towards the sky. We'll take that 3 more times. Elbow comes in towards your inner arm, and then opening up and coming back in. 2 more times, opening out to the side and drawing navel in, touching elbow to inner arm 1 more time. And then open back out to the side. This time extend your right arm all the way up to the sky. Feel this expansion between your 2 arms. And then we'll thread the needle. Right arm can come between left hand, left knee. Bring your ear towards the floor. Couple of breaths here. Option to extend your left arm forward in front of your face. 1 more breath here. Bring your hand back to where you found it. Push yourself all the way back up. Maybe take a counter stretch. Reach your arm back up towards the sky. And then right hand can come down. And we'll go over to the other side. Left hand reaches out to the side, and then arm comes behind your head, or hand comes behind your head. Draw your navel in towards your spine, so you're shortening the space between your low ribs and your upper hip points. And then next inhale, open your chest to the sky, elbow points up. And as you exhale, draw your elbow in towards your inner arm. 4 more times. Three more. Take your time. Mobilizing into the thoracic spine. 2 more. And last one. This time, as you reach all the way up, you can extend your arm up, find space between your collarbones, and then thread the needle. Left hand comes between right hand, right knee. Couple of breaths here. Maybe you're extending your right arm all the way forward. And then slowly bring it back so you can push into your hand and rise all the way back up. Extending. And hands can come down to the ground. We'll make our way into a downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Reach your hips all the way up. Take a few moments to get settled into the shape. Maybe finding a little bit of movement, moving your hips, moving into your ankles and your feet. Taking a few moments to get settled in here. And as you start to settle into the shape, you want to be pressing out through this inner seam of your palms, gently gripping with your fingertips, rooting through the knuckles of your hands, reaching your sitting bones all the way up to the sky. We'll make our way forward to a plank position. Draw your navel in towards your spine and push the floor away as you land in your plank position. And then we'll take a count of 5 to lower all the way down to our bellies. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. On 1, softly land all the way down. Flick your toes back to land the tops of your feet on the ground and all 10 fingers outside of the edges of your mat. We'll take 3 striking cobras. Gently push into your fingers to roll yourself up. Turn your gaze forward. And then slowly roll yourself all the way back down. We'll do that 2 more times, coming into your height, pushing into your fingers, rolling up, and then slowly rolling back down. Last round, pushing into your fingertips, rolling up, and then rolling yourself all the way back down. We'll push ourselves back into a child's pose. Knees come wide, hips back towards heels, arms reach forward. Take a moment to stretch out here, reach your arms a little bit further forward. Find this connection between your fingertips reaching forward to your sitting bones reaching back. So elongation of the whole upper body. And then you can start to draw your hands back towards your heels as you sit up onto your heels. And then bring your hands behind you, tenting onto your fingertips. Draw your chest forward, lift your gaze up to the sky, little mini camel. And then start to bring your hands forward of your knees, tuck your toes under. We're going to make our way into a malasana squat. I like to widen my feet a little bit. I'm going to find some movement here for this first one, or you can stay in stillness. And then bring your hands to the floor. Gently push into your feet to lift your hips up, coming into a forward fold. Toe heel your feet about hips width distance apart. Toes are pointing forward if they're not already. Bend deeply into your right knee. Right fingertips are reaching towards the floor. Take your left hand and draw a line up your arm and across your chest and open your arm all the way out to the side. Nice. Start to reach up into the space above you so that you pull yourself all the way up to standing. And then take your left arm and place it onto the outside of your right ear. So it's across your face, and gently give a little bit of a stretch along the outer line of your neck. And then gently use that to help pull you towards the side and all the way back down into a forward fold. And then we'll just go on to the other side, bending deeply into the left knee. Left fingertips are in front of your foot. Draw your line across your arm, your chest, all the way up to the sky. Drain out through your head. Let the crown of your head be hanging towards the ground. And then start to reach up into the space above you, so much so that you pull yourself all the way up to standing. Hand comes to the outer edge of your left ear. Gently give a little bit of pressure, stretching out through the side of your neck, and then kind of fold into this side bend. Let yourself get soft, coming all the way over and back to the forward fold. From the forward fold, you can start to walk your hands forward back to the downward facing dog. And we'll take about 2 breaths in downward facing dog to get, again, settled into the shape. Maybe you find it a little bit faster this time, the rooting down of your knuckles, spreading across your shoulder blades, turning your upper arms in. And then we'll make our way to a little bit of a twisted dog. So you can lift onto the balls of your feet, turn just your heels over to the right side. So the rest of your body stays in downward facing dog, pushing evenly through both of your palms. And then heels lift back up through center and both heels turn over to the left side. A little bit of an extra stretch across the right side of your body. All the way back through center, come forward to a plank. Navel draws in towards your spine, pushing the floor away. And then we'll lower for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Softly land down. This time we'll just take a cobra. Toes flick back, hands stay by your low ribs, draw your chest forward, shoulder blades are cuddling together behind your back to propel your heart forward. And then slowly lower down, push yourself back to a child's pose. Knees go wide, hips back towards heels, arms reach forward. Draw your hands back to you as you sit up onto your heels. Hands can come behind you, tent your fingertips, draw your chest forward, lift your gaze up. And then bring your hands forward of your knees, tuck your toes under, come into a malasana squat, widen your feet out to the sides. Take a moment in the squat, maybe this time you bring hands in front of your chest, let your pelvis be heavy and kind of traction, a little bit of length into your spine. And then hands can come forward, push into your feet to lift your hips up, coming back to your forward fold. Same thing that we did before, but a little different. Bend deeply into your right knee, right fingertips in front of your foot. Draw this line across your arm, your chest, all the way up to the sky. Let your head drain towards the floor, and then reach up into the space above you. So you pull yourself up. This time, keep your arm extended. Take your right hand onto your left wrist, and then side bend over to the left. to the right. Reach a little bit further over to the side so that you pull yourself back down into a fold, and we'll go over to the other side. Left fingertips in front of your left foot. Draw this line between your hand, reaching up into the space above you. Nice twist. And then find the reach. Pull yourself up. Left hand comes onto your right wrist. Lean over to the right side. Take a moment in the side bend. Find this pulling away from you until you pull yourself back into a forward fold. And then walk your hands forward to a downward facing dog. Same, but a little bit different. This time we're going to come more towards a side plank. So you can lift onto the balls of your feet, turn your heels over to the right side, but keep one foot stacked in front of the other. Hips come a little bit more close to the ground, so they're not quite as high. Find a screwing of the jar under your right hand to the right, so you're sucking your scapula onto your back. Just energetic, not physical. And then start to reach your left arm all the way up and overhead, and then bring it back down onto the floor. We'll go up and over to the other side. Both heels lift, and then heels turn over to the left side. Hips come a little lower towards the floor. Integrate your shoulder blade onto your back. Reach your right arm all the way up and then overhead, and make your way back to a plank position. And then we'll take a count of 5 to the floor. 4 and 3, 2, 1. Land down. Flick your toes back. This time, if you want to go a little higher into a high cobra and upward facing dog, feel free to. And then we'll come all the way back to a child's pose. Hips reach back to heels, arms reach forward. Draw yourself up to a seat, hands come behind your feet. This time, as you start to snuggle your shoulder blades behind your back, lifting your chest up, you might also lift your hips up. I've got a little bit of an impediment behind me, so I'm going to scooch myself forward. Maybe lift your hips up, drawing your tailbone towards the backs of your knees into a little bit more of a camel pose. And then lower your hips back down onto your heels. Hands come forward of your knees, tuck your toes under, make your way into a squat. Feet can stay close together. Just here for a moment. Push into your feet to lift yourself up into a forward fold. Bend deeply into your right knee. Draw a line, left hand along your right arm, your chest, opening out into your twist. Reach into the space above you. Pull yourself all the way up to standing. Lift your right hand up. Clasp your left wrist. Fold over to the right side. Maybe this time you're reaching, and then you come back down a little faster into your fold. Right hand draws a line across your left arm. Open out into a twist. Reach up into the space above you. Pull yourself up to standing. Left hand comes to right wrist. Reach over to the side and come back down into your fold. Walk your hands forward into downward facing dog. One more moment in a side plank. Lift onto the balls of your feet. This time you might snuggle your feet quite close together. And then turn your feet over to the side so that one foot is stacked on top of the other. Feel free to take any of the variations we've had before. And then you'll sweep your left hand back towards your hip, up towards the sky, and then overhead, all the way back, down through plank in the center and over to the other side. Coming onto the outer edge of your left foot, right arm sweeps back away from you, up to the sky, and up and overhead. Make your way back to a plank, and then dead downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here to stretch out. Hips are reaching up to the sky. Okay. From downward facing dog, you're going to step your left foot a little bit closer to your right. Sweep your right leg up towards the sky, and then draw your right knee in towards your nose, and step your right foot forward between your hands. Turn your back heel in and down, and then rise all the way up to a warrior two. So your hip points are open to the sides. Gaze is turned forward, nice deep lunge in this front knee. Back foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. Finding an energetic pushing out into your feet as you draw your legs together. We're going to stay here for about 3 more breaths. Next inhale, start to push your front leg towards straight. Sweep your right arm all the way up to the sky in a reverse triangle pose. Finding this line from your fingertips to your toes. A little bit of stretch across the side of your body. And then come back up through triangle. Reach your right hand forward and then bring your hand down onto your shin, your ankle. Find a little bit of a micro bend into your knee. And you want to find some pressure of your shin into your hand and your hand back into your shin so that you're pulling your spine a little bit longer. If you have a block, this is a great spot to use a block underneath your bottom hand. You might turn your gaze all the way up to your top hand. 1 more breath here. Slowly start to bend into your front knee. We're going to come into a side angle. I'm just going to loop my hand around my ankle. You want your knee above your ankle or thereabouts. You might walk your back foot a little bit longer out. And then take your left arm and reach it all the way up and overhead, finding this line from your fingertips to the outer edge of your foot. Maybe you turn your gaze all the way up under your armpit. We're here for 2 more breaths. Turn your gaze to the floor. Touch your left hand to the inside of your right foot. Lift onto the ball of your left foot and then draw your right hand up onto your thigh. Turn yourself to the right in a twisted lunge. You can keep your hand onto your thigh or you might sweep your arm all the way back and up. We're here for 2 more breaths. Next, exhale, bring both hands down. Frame your front foot. Make your way back to a 3-legged downward facing dog. Right leg sweeps up and back to the sky. Getting a little bit of a counter stretch. And we're going to come into a wild thing variation. So you can lift onto the ball of your left foot, turn onto the outer edge of your left foot. Start to bring your right foot right behind your calf. So it's like a little bit of a kickstand, and then you can take your right arm, reach it up to the sky, and then reach it overhead. So rather than a back bend, hi, it's okay, I'm filming a class right now. Rather than a back bend, it's more of a side bend. 1 more breath here. Bring your hand back down onto the floor. Make your way back down to a downward facing dog. If you want to, feel free to move through a vinyasa, coming forward to plank, lowering yourself down to your belly or through chaturanga, and then coming up and making your way back to a downward facing dog. When you're ready, we'll go on to the other side. Start by stepping your right foot a little closer to your left. Sweep your left leg up to the sky. Draw your left knee in towards your nose and step your foot forward. Somewhere on your mat, take a moment to turn your back foot in and down, parallel to the back edge of your mat, and then stand all the way up into a warrior two. Arms are spread wide, gaze turns forward. Nice deep lunge in the front knee, pushing out through your feet, drawing your legs together. Feeling the strength of this form. We're here for about 3 more breaths. Next inhale, push your front leg towards straight. Bring your left hand all the way up and overhead. Reverse triangle, stretching out through the side of your body. And then standing all the way up. It's a little bit of a longer triangle. You're welcome to walk your back foot in a little bit, but know that we're going to be going to side angle from here. When you're ready, bring your hand towards your shin, your ankle, or the floor or a block. Reach your right arm all the way up towards the sky. And if this feels a little wonky with it being kind of longer, you might notice if it feels unsustainable in your body or if you can breathe into this kind of space of awkwardness a little bit. 1 more breath here. Reaching the crown of your head away from your sitting bones. Next exhale, bend into your front knee. You might loop your hand around your ankle. Always the option to prop yourself up onto your thigh as well. And right arm turns, fingertips reach up and overhead for a side angle. One more breath here. Turn your gaze to the floor. Bring your right hand down to the inside of your left foot and then bring your left hand onto your thigh. Ball of your foot is grounded on the right foot and start to turn your chest to the left. Still finding this pulling together of your feet to stabilize into your pelvis, staying in the strength of your legs. 1 more breath here. Gaze turns back towards the floor. Frame out your front foot. Make your way back to a 3-legged downward facing dog. Left leg reaches up and back. And then turn to the outside edge of your right foot. Drape your left toes right behind your calf. You're on the ball of your left foot. Reach your left arm all the way up towards the sky and then overhead. Nice and sunny here. 1 more breath here. Gaze turns towards the floor. Place both of your hands down. Make your way back to a downward facing dog. Lift onto the balls of your feet and lower your knees down onto the ground. We'll take a couple of breaths in a puppy pose. You can walk your hands forward of your shoulders. Start to drape your chest towards the floor. Maybe your forehead rests onto the floor. Maybe you bring your chin to the ground. You want your hips above your knees, if that's comfortable enough for you. Couple of breaths here. Push into your hands to lift your chest up. And then you're going to lower your whole upper body down onto the ground. So you're laying your front body down to the floor. Bring your hands back outside your mat. Tented fingertips. Gently push into your hands. 1 round of a striking cobra, rolling up. And then roll yourself all the way back down. And we'll make our way back to a downward facing dog. All right, we're going to go through that same sequence. It's going to be similar but a little bit different. When you're ready, left foot steps a little closer to your right. Right leg sweeps up towards the sky. Draw your knee in towards your nose. Find a moment of compression. And then step your right foot all the way forward. Turn your back heel in and down. Warrior two legs. Maybe it feels a little bit more familiar this time. Rise all the way up once you feel nice and steady in your feet, grounding down through this outer edge of your back foot. Just here for a breath. Next inhale, push your front leg towards straight. Sweep your right arm all the way up to the sky and then a little bit back. Reverse triangle. And then rise back up through center. Extend both of your arms alongside your ears so your fingers are reaching up towards the sky. Cross your thumbs one on top of the other so you have this shadow puppet butterfly with your fingertips, and you want to be drawing your hands away from each other, widening across your shoulder blades. Okay, we're going to come back into the triangle pose, but we're going to keep this bind with the hands. So you want to find a drawing together of your legs. Start to reach your upper body forward, your arms forward, but you're staying floating. See if you can reach a little bit more with your whole upper body rather than with just your arms. So good. One more breath here. Okay, slowly rise back up, release your hands out to the sides, bend back into your front knee, and we'll make our way into the side angle. You can bring your hand back down to the floor, maybe rest your elbow onto your forearm, reach your other arm all the way overhead. Find this line between your foot and your fingertips. And then slowly bring both hands down to frame your front foot. Lift onto the ball of your back foot. This time we're going to come into a fallen triangle. So I'm just going to bend my front knee to lift my foot off the ground. And then I'm going to step my right foot outside of my left hand. Yeah. Start to turn onto the inside edge of your left foot so that you open yourself up to the sky. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Yeah. Nice. Maybe you reach your left arm all the way up and overhead. And then turn your gaze back down to the floor. Place both hands down, lift onto the ball of your left foot. Draw your knee in, and then we're going to make our way back to a three-legged downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up and back. And from here, we're going to go to a wild thing. Lift onto the ball of your left foot. Start to drape your right foot behind you. This time you find a little bit more space between your calf and your foot. Turn onto the outside edge of your left foot. Reach your right arm all the way up to the sky, and then maybe you reach it all the way up and back behind your head. Open your chest to the sky. Back bend here. One more breath here. Find a little bit of weightedness in your hips to kind of draw your pelvis a little bit closer to the ground. Turn your gaze back down to the floor. Right hand comes down, and then step your way back into a downward facing dog. Take a moment to stretch out here, pressing out through your palms, finding this groundedness in your knuckles. When you're ready, we will go on to the second side. Right foot steps in a little closer to your left. Sweep your left leg all the way up towards the sky. Draw your knee in towards your nose. Lift onto the ball of your right foot. Find this compression and then step all the way forward. Between your hands, turn your back heel in and down. Rise all the way up to a warrior two. Just here for a breath. Next inhale, push your front leg towards straight. Reach your left arm all the way up towards the sky and then a little behind you. And then stand all the way back up. Reach both arms up alongside your ears. Hook your thumbs, maybe opposite thumb on top. Find a drawing away of your thumb so you're widening across your shoulder blades. I feel it in my upper outer arms. And then start to reach your hips back as you reach your upper body in one piece forward. So you might not come very far forward, but you want to see if you can keep this integration. It should feel like a lot of strength work in your abdomen, in your side waist, in your arms. We're here for 2 more breaths. Inhale to rise back up. Release your hands out to the sides. Bend into your front knee and then make your way forward into the side angle. Maybe your hand loops around your ankle. You reach your right arm all the way up and overhead. 1 more breath here. Turn your gaze to the floor. Bring both hands down. Okay. 2 options this time, lifting onto the ball of your back foot. You might do the same thing that we did last time where you just pick your foot up, or you might just toe heel your foot over to the side. Okay, so whichever feels better for you. Maybe you lift your foot up and then step it out to the side. And then you're turning to the inside edge of that back foot, opening your right arm up to the sky. Fallen triangle. Maybe you reach your arm all the way up and overhead. And then gaze turns down to the floor. Bring your right hand down. Bring your knee in towards your chest and come all the way up and back to a 3-legged downward facing dog. And from here to our wild thing, start to drape your left toes behind you. Turn onto the outside edge of your right foot. Maybe you bring your left hand behind your head. Support your head, draw a little bit of length through your spine. Chest is reaching up towards the sky. You can stay with this, the first variation. 1 more breath here. Okay, find the weightedness of your hips to pull your pelvis a little bit closer to the floor. Flip back over to a downward facing dog. 1 more breath in downward facing dog to stretch out here. And then turn your gaze forward between your thumbs. Lift onto the balls of your feet. And you can either hop or just bring your knees onto the ground to come into a seat. Bring your legs out in front of you. Okay, from here we're going to take a moment of some core work. So we're going to come into a boat pose. You can sit back onto your sitting bones to be able to bring your shins parallel to the floor. Arms can reach forward. You can either stay here with bent knees or you can extend your legs towards straight. And then from here we're going to tap one heel and the next to the floor. So you can bend your right knee, touch your heel to the ground, bring it back up, and then left, bring it back up. We're going to do 5 more each side. Lifting your chest up to the sky. I've got 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. Stay with it. Lifting your chest up, spreading across your collarbones, not rushing through it. 2 more. 1 more. You got it. Yes. Draw your feet to the floor. Bring your knees in. Give yourself a hug. And then you can bring your hands behind you, walk your feet a little bit further forward, sway your knees from side to side. Okay, from here we're going to take a couple of longer stretches. So we'll take a square pose to start. I'm going to take my right foot, bring it underneath my left ankle. And then I'm going to take my left foot, bring it in front of my right knee. So I've got one shin crossed in front of the other, foot supporting my knee, feet are flexed. You're always welcome to sit up onto a block or a blanket if you have that support. Find a moment of lengthening the crown of your head up to the sky. And then start to walk your hands forward, coming into any amount of a forward fold. And we'll take a couple of extra breaths here. I'm going to support my head with my hands. You're welcome to have your head hanging towards the ground. Letting yourself breathe into this settling and slowness. Noticing how your body feels resting onto the ground. Two more breaths here. Slowly start to walk yourself all the way back up. Hands can come behind you. You can uncross your legs. Take a moment to sway your knees from side to side. And then we will go over to the other side. This time right foot comes underneath left knee. Right foot comes in front of your left knee. Left foot under right knee. Moment of elongation. Crown of your head reaching up towards the sky. And then start to walk your hands forward. Feeling the movement of your breath. Two more breaths here. Use your next inhale to help you walk all the way up. You can uncross your legs. Again, find a moment of swaying your knees from side to side. Then you can extend your legs all the way out long. Take a moment in staff pose with your hands by your sides, fingertips pointing towards your feet. Flex your toes back towards you. Crown of the head is reaching up towards the sky. This pose seems so simple, but it can be so energetic and engaged. Next exhale, start to walk your hands forward, folding forward over your legs, softening your knees. You might wrap your arms underneath your legs if you want a little bit more of a passive stretch, or maybe you're reaching your hands towards your feet. Crown of your head is reaching towards your toes. And we'll take about 3 steady breaths here. And start to walk yourself all the way back up. Okay, from here we're going to roll all the way down to our backs. You can extend your arms forward, find a C curl of your spine all the way down to the floor. As you land on your back, you can draw your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Maybe you draw circles on the sky with your knees, one direction and the other. And then we'll take a little waggling, shaking, rocking moment here. So you can extend your legs up to the sky and you can extend your arms up to the sky. And then we're just going to shake the legs and the arms as vigorously as possible. And we're going to do this for about a count of 10. And the more you do it, the more of a payoff you get. We're going to go for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, give it all you've got, for 1, and then let your heels come towards your hips and then slap onto the ground, and then push your feet out on your mat so that your heels slide and your feet flop out to the sides. And you might take a moment and do a little internal, external rotation, wiggle into your hips. Let your palms face up, or maybe your hands are resting somewhere on your body. If you need to keep finding movement, you're always able to keep finding movement as well. Or if you want a little bit of stillness, then start to settle your body into stillness. If there's anything else you need, feel free to take it. Otherwise, we will take a few moments in a meditation here for rest. Allowing each part of your body to gently settle into the floor underneath you, into the ground. Letting your weight get a heavy and sinking quality to it. So you're feeling into the earth of your own body. This kind of steady stability and groundedness. Maybe it's as if your whole body is kind of melding with this mossy floor of the earth underneath you. And you're feeling held and safe and grounded. And from this place, take a few minutes of rest. can slowly start to reawaken your body, bringing some movement in, maybe moving your fingers and your toes. And you might extend your arms overhead and take a full body stretch. When you're ready to, you can gently roll yourself over onto one side. Take a moment on your side before pushing yourself up into a comfortable seat. And then we'll end the way that we started. So you can bring your hands onto the top of your thighs, give a little bit of pressure downwards, and slide the root of your palm across your thighs. Let your palms flip up as they reach your knees. Little cups of hands. Place your left palm over the space of your heart. Take your right hand on top of your left. And then start to find a little mobilization of your skin across your chest. A few circles. Let your hands settle towards the center of your heart. And you might take a moment to bow your chin towards your chest. In gratitude, I bow in gratitude for the ability to practice on this land. I am presently on Washoe land. And for the privilege of teaching, thank you so much for being here today. When you're ready to, you can bring your hands down, gently blink open your eyes, and greet the rest of your day. Thank you.